So every once in a while, I like to go back and be a student again, try to learn from my strategy, try to learn the nuances of my strategy and things that I could do better in the market. So the way I'm doing this is through backtesting, and I love to go back sometimes and just backtest for a while. Any of the backtesting platforms out there and just kind of test different things. Either I test something for fun, or I go and kind of do a whole backtest of my strategy and try to learn some things that I didn't know before. Today we'll do just that. We'll go in depth through a backtest, and I'll guide you through how I'm doing things and how you can learn from strategy and how you can use this to just become a profitable trader. Let's dive right in. Okay, so the platform I'm using these days for backtesting is Forex Tester, and I've tested many platforms in the past. This one, by the way, is Forex Tester 5. It's a good platform, and the reason why I use this one now is because the other ones are good, but this one can go a lot more in depth on the backtest. And I kind of get something that I don't get with these other platforms with this one. The data tends to be better here. There's a very good visual mode on this one, and I'll talk about a few more things that I love about Forex Tester. Even though it's more complex, there's a lot more tools into this. It's a good platform to kind of go in depth and do some things that you wouldn't be able to do on other platforms. So one thing I was trying to test here is, can I simplify the way I trade my Bollinger Band reversal strategy? And I've been trading this for multiple years now. I didn't really change it too much. It's been the same principles for a while. But are there some things I could do to make it a bit better or a bit different and more simple? I'm trying to get away from these more subjective tools like support resistance areas, because I know that I want to be traveling and sometimes there's no time to look at the chart and play zones, or other times it's just that zones can be subjective and they could be different. And for different people you teach the strategies to, they'll have different results. Now, ideally would be in the case where if I teach this to someone else, they can use it right away. The rules are very objective and they don't have to kind of play with it and go back and forth and hopefully get the right zones. It's all done for them and it's all very systematic. So first I've done a quick backtest for my Bollinger Band reversal strategy, but very simple, like a very simple way to trade it. The reasoning is, instead of waiting for a big engulfing candle like this, breaking the Bollinger Band and coming back on that trade, I'm allowing myself to enter more on any touch of the Bollinger Band with a bearish candlestick. So bearish if it's at the top, bullish at the bottom. And the way this works is, so here we have a good example of how we can screw up with this strategy sometimes. Here we have price coming back down from a very big uptrend, coming back down to a very big downtrend. And now we've got this bullish engulfing candle, very good signal for reversal. I'll put my stop loss here below. And as you can see, price fails to go anywhere, just kind of comes back down and hit the stop loss. Now we've seen this happen many times over the past few months. These setups are a lot more frequent than they were before. So what I'm thinking is it better to just trade these things, which can produce like really good moves sometimes? Like we had an example where this, if you enter here, short there, stop loss here, you have a very good move to enter, right? This is really good. Could we reduce this? Could we make it more simple to maybe even take smaller targets and kind of just look at swings of that Bollinger Band extreme points and kind of capitalize on that? So what I'm testing now is, are we able to, when you have a bearish engulfing candle here, when you have a bearish candle and we break the Bollinger Band, can we go short and enter on this? Now, this is another good example here. A good example would be this one over here. We have a push to the upside. Then we've got price breaking the Bollinger Band over this candlestick over here. And then the next one after that, the wicks break the Bollinger Band. And we have a bearish candle. Not a very strong candle, but enough to tell us that price will likely go back because it's at an extreme point. And it will likely go back to being somewhere in the middle. So I enter here, put my stop loss above. Now, I've tested for fun, how is it if you are going to target the middle band? Right? Because the middle band is very easily achievable. Yes, it's a small target, but how many times does price go to the middle band after a move of the upper band or the lower band? Quite often. So here, target the middle band and exit all the trade here. Now, as you can see, I'm keeping it very simple. Okay, it's very basic here. There's nothing too complicated about it. It's very clear and very basic. That's the logic behind it. Now, that could mean we'll have a very small reward on these trades, but the frequency, the win rate should pay off for the losses we have. Same example here, we can enter this over here, and then we can maybe target the middle band. And that's a very small target, as you can see, for the stop loss we have, but it's still a pretty decent trade. And if the win rate is high enough, then these trades will pay out for themselves. And this is where backtesting in Forex Tester 5 comes into play. Well, I've got this backtest I've done before, which is the simplest way I've showed you for my strategy. And if you want to have a look at the stats, you just go here and you tap on the Windows tab and then statistics. This will pull up over here. So we see all the statistics of a strategy I've tested in the past, which I took a decent 53 trades in this backtest. Now the win rate is about 50-50. See here, profit is 49%, loss is 51%, which looks all right for a average win that's bigger than my average loss. See average profit here, 4,000. Average loss is 3,700. But it comes down to being at a roughly break even, 1% in 79 months of backtesting, which is very little, of course. So it went through a big up at first and a big down after that, a big drawdown, and we're back to roughly break even. So this shows me that, first of all, this doesn't work well. But the cool thing is that I can go back on the chart, I can see these trades, I can figure out what went wrong, and can I fix it in some ways? Should I increase my targets? Should I maybe change something a little bit? See these trades here that worked out pretty well. Went short here, take profit over here in the middle band, and it worked quite well. But we could have gone a lot further on this move. We could have gone to 2 to 1, 3 to 1, maybe even the other band could have been working out well. So I have a lot of more questions now. Some things I can even test better. Looks like I've also missed some things I can test better and go through. But it showed me that at least with this method, I'm not losing any money. I can break even, and it's not good, of course, but I can kind of go from there and make it better, filter out maybe a little bit better, and I might be able to make this profitable overall. Now, one thing I've noticed is, first of all, is that I took a lot more trades than with my typical Bollinger Band reversal strategy, because it's a lot more flexible, and there's a lot more possibilities for entering trades, getting out, entering back in, getting out. So it's a lot more tradable than what I was doing before. Keep in mind, this is a daily chart, so a much bigger time frame than what I currently trade. I'll do the same test for the forward chart after that to kind of see how this works out. But one thing I love about Forex Tester is that if I wanted to be able to backtest multiple time frames, I can absolutely do that. This is the second backtest I'm running, which is a multiple time frame backtest, the way I usually trade my Bollinger Band reversal strategy. Now, so far I've got a lot more wins, but it's still early in the process of backtesting here. One thing I really enjoy about the way you can backtest a Forex Tester is that, first of all, you got a very in-depth and deep backtesting with the data. So on some platforms, if you especially just go back on your charts on TradingView, for example, you'll be able to backtest and like place trades on this. But the thing is, you don't see how the move happened. So if you got, for example, a wick and you want to see how that wick unfolded, or you want to be able to see what happened within that trade, like how far the profit went back to your entry or something, especially things like this trade over here. If I were to go short at this candlestick and enter below, right over here, would I be stopped out on this one? Well, let's say for whatever reason that I decided I want to go short on this move over here. I want to enter below this low right over here and put my stop loss just above this high over here, right? Now you can see we have a conflict there because we have a big wick happening just at the entry of our trade. But we cannot really tell if price went down first, then up after to hit a stop loss, or if price went up first, then got down, then came back up again to close. We don't know how the move unfolded. We don't know if we'll be stopped out here or not. And that can cause some issues. With Forex Tester, you've got an in-depth and deep data. So you're able to really use the data and see the tick by tick how it unfolded and where price went before it got to where it is now. So it's really cool. The other nice thing is we have a syncing of the drawings on one chart to the other one. So whatever you draw on one chart, here I have a daily chart on the left and a 1 hour chart on the right. Whatever I do here on one time frame will be synced to the other time frame, which is pretty cool. That means that if I go on my chart and I want to draw a line for whatever reason here, you can see that line will be synced right here to our other time frame. Once I draw it, it's appearing right over here. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to do anything for this. It's all automatic by default. The things will sync. And you can open as many charts as you want. So if I go here and I go to my chart settings here, I just do a new chart. I can bring in whatever kind of chart I want on whatever pair I have downloaded so far. And here I only have ADUSD for now, but I could bring this over here and I'll put this as a, let's say a forward chart. Go back here to the home, put it to forward. Then I just want to organize this better. So I'll go to window here. I can do title them horizontally or vertically if I want to have them like this. And all the drawings will sync. It will all be together. The trades will show on all time frames. And that is kind of cool to trade that way. Kind of a nice thing to do. Now, if you want to back this and go through taking trades on this, all I got to do is I got to go in the time frame I want, daily chart, 1 hour chart, forward chart. And then whichever time frame I'm on, if I go play, it will move on that time frame. And the other ones, of course, will sync. So you can see the 1 hour chart here go faster than the forward charts. And my daily chart is kind of moving very slowly in that case here. If I want to go bar by bar, all I got to do is press on space. And this will change the bar on the time frame I select. Here's forward chart. And we can kind of go that way. So it works really well. Okay. Now, if I want to change the bars on the 1 hour chart, just select the 1 hour chart. And you change the bar here individually. You can see the 4 hour will still move, but a bit differently. So what I'm doing here is I have my zones on the charts. And based on the zones on the daily chart, I'll place trades on lower time frames. I'm going to add my indicators here, which are Bollinger Band on both time frames, just to have it there. So 22, it's good. And here, Bollinger Band, once again, 22. Boom. And now I got to draw my zones on the bigger time frame, daily chart, and look for trades on low time frames. I can see now that we are in a downtrend, so I'm not going to be trading here very much in downtrends. I'll just skip on the daily chart until we get to a more sideways market here. Okay, we've made a low, we have our high. Let's see if we can retest the low and pull back up. And it looks like we did. So I'm going to just go here and draw a little box. It will show my support and my resistance area on this particular move. Then I can keep going forward until we get to that top of the zone. And as you can see here, I'm on the middle band on the 1 hour chart. And I'm on the lower band of the 4 hour chart. Okay, that's good. Here I can look for buys if I have a buy set up. Looks like we just broke that range. We'll see how we come back up. Okay, we came back in the range, which is a good sign. Once we come back in the range, I can still look for the trades. I'll look for sells toward the top. Now we get a top of a range over here on the 4 hour chart, 1 hour chart as well. And I can start to look for bearish trades at this level. And finally, I've identified a good setup here on the 1 hour chart. So see, we are a bit above this range, but we have some resistance over this past consolidation over here. I'm comfortable taking a sell trade here if I have a setup, which I have over here. A engulfing candle right over here, engulfing this previous candlestick that broke the Bollinger Band. Both of them broke the Bollinger Band, and we had also a few touches before that. That is a good sign. So what I'll do is I'll do a pending order because I want to enter below the low of this candlestick. So I'll go here, pending order. I'll place my price, which is going to be over here. And I'll put my stop loss right over here. So notice how the stop loss here is 122. So I can just go here. My take profit will be will actually be 244 because it's 2 times. And then I'll just put this over here, put this price there, and I should set a take profit to double over stop loss. Now I want to make sure it's the sell stop. That's good. And I choose here 1% risk per trade, which is my typical risk per trade for these setups. I'll do place order. Here we go. You can see our stop loss here. Sell stop or entry is here. Not triggered yet. And our take profit should be right here at 2-1. Okay, let this unfold. We have our trade triggered here. We move in our favor and we go down even more and we get stopped out over here. Okay, now this is how I would typically kind of not manage it too well. I would just leave it like that. See if you have any other trade coming up. Here we are trending once again, coming back up to, looks like we're going to test our resistance again, which is over here. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so same principle again. We are reaching a resistance area right over here. So this is the previous box. Now we're at the same level. I'm comfortable here taking a sell trade based on this engulfing candle once again on the 1 hour chart. So I'll go here and I'll do the same thing. So I'll go here, pending sell. Price will be over here, just below the engulfing candle. Stop loss will be right over here. And our target, notice how this is giving us 118. So our targets here would be 234, I believe. And boom, target will be here, 234 is double of our stop loss. And we keep going. Okay, reach, pretty good. Take profit here on this trade was reach, and we've got a good trade. So I continue doing this until I get to the end of my data, which is about 3 years of data. See, we're already here in January of 2018. I've got about 4 years left to do that. I'll do more videos about this if you want. So let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions on how to backtest, how to use Forex Tester 5. I'll leave a link below so you can have a discount code and get that tool if you want to backtest in depth and use all those features. Really, this is the backtesting platform I know that's going the most in depth on the backtest and that you can do the most with. If you want to go solid with a choice that you cannot regret, this is the one to go for. And I'll be happy to do more videos on how to use it, how to learn from your backtest, and how to get better results over time. And I'm going to keep you updated on my results with this platform. Link below to check out Forex Tester 5. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if it's not done yet. I publish videos like this 3 times a week. And I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.